Hello, my Rosans and Rosikins. Mother is back, and I want to talk about the question of am I a wife or are you a wife? And the reason I've been thinking about this, as you know, Mother is like a visionary for sure. I'm always like thinking about my future, always and forever. And I know that I made a post literally like yesterday about red pill content creators, and if you all listen to them, majority of you so far have said no. Some of you have said yes. Someone even liked it, which I appreciate. And I remember before I posted, I was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna kill me if they know I listen to certain red pill content creators." But this is my channel; I don't care. And so I was thinking, Mother was thinking, I've been really listening to so many different content creators. And I also want to add that I also listen to the Sovereign Woman. Uh, what was her name? Tira Chantel, something like that. I hope I'm saying her name right. Ah! But I listen to Child Free Women. I listen to um, 30 Reasons. Is it 30 Reasons Why Men Deserve Nothing? Or something like that. I listen to so many different. I've listened to Princelle in the past. I've listened to so many different perspectives in regards from the woman's perspective of wives. And then I also listened to people like Kevin Samuels before. I listened to MABW, Men Against Bitter Women. I listened to Danica Marie. I listened to Six the Goddess. I look at Kendra G's show for a reality check, but I still listen to those women and what they want in a man, what they would want to qualify for, and then listen to the men's perspective that do content reaction videos on Kendra G's show and the women that are delusional asking for a certain group of men they don't qualify for. I, like Mother has said, I listen to so many different perspectives about the encompassing about what it is to be in a union with a man as a woman, specifically in this case, in regards to the Black community and the culture. And I also listen to, as you know, um, I was raised actually in, like I said, Kojic. So I come from a very much Pentecostal Black community, Black background or Black church background. I also listen to those who are Hebrew Israelite affiliates and those who like redirecting. I love redirecting so much. Um, she's amazing. Sister Deborah, there you go. And her husband Watchman. Like they're very, very cool. They're very inspiring. Minister of Wellness. I listen to them for health content as well, a different channel called Minister of Wellness. Him and his wife, he's a minister that talks about veganism basically. And these are all, again, Black centered channels in that sense, Black community centered channels. I just really love hearing different perspectives of what a woman's quote unquote places in regards to a union with a man and what a man's quote unquote places in regards to a union with a woman and the encompassing of a marriage. And I also look at my personal experiences seeing married couples within my own personal family. Um, and it's just so much. It's just so much. And I've just been thinking about this like, oh my God, like I have like so many different perspectives. Like, I will always say this to the day I die. I am a woman first and foremost before I am any damn thing under this sun. Hallelujah. And so, as a woman, it is my goal in life to always protect myself, if nothing else, and to use my intuition to guide me. It is what it is, and wisdom, right? Even in the Bible, wisdom is referred to as she, as in a woman. So, I do a lot of self reflection, self awareness. I've also realized that in the past, I was delusional to think that I could have certain things in life without putting in the work. Now I don't think that anymore. I believe that you have to put in the work to have, manifest, cultivate, bring into fruition, to materialize certain things that you want for your life. Actually, not even certain things, everything you want for your life, right? I believe that we have different frequencies. I literally used to listen to Michi X too. I was very spiritual at one time, more than what I am now. I feel like I have a balance though. You have to have a balance, right? So I don't know. I have so many different perspectives on marriage. And lately I would say that for me, because I also listen to 4B content creators, like I said before, child free. Like I just love like, and 4B, if you don't know, is like women going their own way basically. It's no sex, no marriage, no dating, and no childbirthing. So certain principles I uphold from that in regards to child free, period. Like I don't mind mentoring, teaching, helping to cultivate young children and children in general, because children are amazing, right? But I personally cannot see myself being a mother, especially in these ghetto 2025 American streets. Yeah, you got me messed up. And so for me personally, I believe that when it comes down to asking yourself the question, am I a wife? Or wondering what are wifely traits, I say you have to have a balance of all these different perspectives. And one thing that mother wants to tell my Rosalynds is I'm not a married woman. I'm not even an engaged woman. I am a single woman that is in the process of courting a nice young man, right? And so I know that some people feel like, you're not married, shut the up, which I agree with to a certain extent. Because what I also have come to realize is every marriage shouldn't have been a marriage if you want to know the truth. And a lot of these wives out here are not very much wifely. They should have been left at the side of the road. Just like a lot of these husbands, some of y'all should never have said yes to. They should have been left on the side of the road. So, since I'm aware of the fact that, you know, people are going to have their opinions, and I'm also 26, so I realized I don't have experience either. So, in regards to um, a lot of other successful relationships that people have, or marriages, or wisdom. So, again, this is just from my 26 years of living, what I've taught myself, what I've learned, what I've seen, what I've been taught, what I've lent my ear to, my eyes to, etc. And just wisdom and intuition that I've gained from my own mistakes and others that I've seen make mistakes, that I've, learned from their mistakes. Um, what I believe is that you have to have a balance of all this information, because they say this is the age of Aquarius, etc. Information is everywhere. These are the last days. Information is everything's being revealed, right? Okay, we get it, we got it, we're there. But my thing is this: when you're asking yourself if you are a wife, does that mean you have to be homely? Does that mean that you need to let yourself go? Does that mean you have to be a mule? Does that mean that you have to be someone who doesn't have self respect and are, in a sense, Molly the maid for said man that you love? Do you even have to go 50-50, right? Do you have to split everything down the middle with said man and still take on domestic duties? Do you want to be someone that you split everything, and you also split housework, child rearing, if you are someone with child with your man, husband, etc., preferably a husband? Okay, I don't believe you should ever give a man kids that's not your husband, but that's me personally. um and so, does that mean you should do that? Does that mean that that is what a wife is? And for that, I'm going to say no. I don't believe that that is what a wife is. But does it also mean that your husband should pay for everything while you sit in the house and look pretty and hire a maid? I don't know. I don't think that that's what a wife is either. I believe that when it comes down to marriage, so far, what I'm realizing for myself, and maybe some of you can relate, Rosikins or Rosalind's, that I believe marriage is based on the foundation of understanding your duties within that relationship, within that vow, within that oath, within that union, within that promise and sacred vow, sacred agreement before God or Yah, someone would say, or whomever you know you would believe him to be, but I'm gonna say Yah, right? It's understanding the very nature of what a man is and what a woman is. It's also understanding your person, right, as a person. So, for example, my man wouldn't just be my man. Let's say his name is uh let's make up a fake name. Let's say my man's name is Jared. Jared is not just my man. He is Jared. He loves football. These are just like random examples, right? He is into looking nice. He's a very fashionable man, but very masculine too, right? He believes in self care, taking care of his, let's say, facial hair, his lineup, etc. He's someone who's into working out, into exercising. He's also someone that might be a Trump supporter, might not be a Trump supporter. He's someone that might be a Kamala Harris supporter, might not be a Kamala Harris supporter. He's someone that probably came from either a two parent background or a broken home, right? So yeah, Jared is someone who might enjoy reading. He might be more into veganism than the carnivore diet. He's someone who might have a short temper. Maybe he has never seen what a father is. Maybe he has. Maybe his mother took his dad for granted within their marriage and he saw that and said, I'm not going to let nobody take advantage of me. That's my wife. You know, these are all the things you want to consider. After you realize the roles that you believe a man and a woman's places within a relationship and a union, then you want to go to the next layer of, okay, they're a man, they're a woman, etc., whatever. Now, who are they as a person? Who are they? Are they someone who has a growth mindset? Are they someone who's willing to work shit out? Are they someone who is a builder? Are they someone who wants to be wealthy one day? Do they have the same financial goals as you? Are they okay with always being a borrower and not a lender? Like, what type of person? Do they have a good character? Do they have a career mindset? Are they trying to have a career? Like, what are they? More than just a man, your woman, etc. And then after that, the next question is, what is their future life that they want? Right? I'm meeting them today, right? I know them now in the present. But years later, what are their ambitions? What are their goals? Who do they want to become, right? So you realize they're a man, they're a woman, cool. You know the relationships in regards to what you believe them to be, right? So the next step after that, like I said before, is okay, so who are they as a person, right? Who are they as a person presently? The third step is, who are they going to become, right? And I want to add that I know, mother knows. You never really know who someone's going to become until they become it, right? You can see signs that maybe they'll be a failure, but they become successful. You can see signs they'll be successful, but then they make the wrong decision and they become a failure. So then the question is, after that third question, okay, well, am I willing to stick it through with them? Come hell or high water, no matter who this person changes into, am I willing to stay with this person? Am I willing to? Am I willing to? And if I'm not, then most likely this person is not for me. If I can't handle them evolving, changing for better or for worse, potentially at the expense of all the time I've invested into them, all the moments we've shared, all the vulnerability, the financial, as one could say, vulnerability, truthfulness that you share with them, your goals, your dreams, your ambitions, your body, your soul, right? Possibly children if you have children with or want to have children with this person, already have children with this person. The question is like, okay, So after all that, am I willing to still be there? And I think that these are the questions that we have to learn to define within and before a marriage, right? Question one. Okay, so what are the roles of the man and the woman at their core? What it encompasses or what makes someone a man or a woman and not just a female or a male. Second, who is this person? You right? Like, who is this person besides just a man or a woman? Who are they? What do they like? Where have they come from? What have they gone through? You know, like who are they? Thirdly, can I see myself, right, with this person in the present, right? Can I see myself being with them, like where they are and their future as well? Like, can I see that? Can I see that? Can I understand who they're going to become? Right? Do I have any inkling of what the future may hold? You know? And then, fourthly, if they make a change for the worse, will I be willing to still stay? Am I willing to sacrifice all this time, money, energy, beauty, youth, etc. with this person, resources, family ties? Am I willing to invest all this into this person and they could potentially fuck me over? Am I ready or willing to go through that? And I really do believe that those four questions really will help gauge how you see yourself, how a marriage truly should be for you and your partner. Because I believe, my Rosalynds and Rosikins, that marriage is a gamble in 2025 and forward, and has always been a gamble, but more so now than ever, for men and for women. And the reason I brought up the red pill content is because I realize that a lot of men really feel as though the women nowadays are not quality women, that they are bops and 304s, as one would say, or they've hit the wall. And the sad part is that I can't really disagree. Now, on the flip side, a lot of women nowadays feel that a lot of men are not true men. And I'm going to say I cannot disagree. What I will say is that where there are whores, there are whoremongers, just like the Bible says, right? When they were caught in adultery in that situation when Yeshua saw the man and the woman, and the man was trying to basically, like, well, the men were pointing only at the woman, but she wasn't there by herself, right? Even with Adam, that woman you gave me, okay, and Adam, you listened, didn't you? So again, I believe that there's a certain order to these things. I believe the world is very much out of order. I believe a lot of dynamics between men and women are out of order. I also understand and know that it's frustrating to have a valuable partner nowadays because they're very few in between. I remember even the Bible says about the Proverbs 31 woman, like, I believe this is something about rubies, like rare like rubies or something like that. Like, there's so much injustice in relationships and in unions. I mean, no one takes marriage seriously anymore. No one takes relationships serious anymore. It's a lot of people screwing a lot of different people, even when they're in committed relationships. It's a lot of people pointing fingers, not willing to work it out. A lot of people not taking accountability. A lot of people wanting things that they have not put in the work for, right? So I agree. I agree. I agree. And so Rosalind's, when it comes down to what you understand a wife to be, or what type of wife you want to be, if you choose to have men in your life and to take a marriage proposal seriously and want to be married, right? I believe you have to consider those questions. I also believe that you have to put in the work. And I also want to tell you that when you're putting in this work, do not accept just any type of man, right? We don't put in work for ourselves just to have it devalued by a man that is not set forth in his mind about you and about his manhood, right? Like, let's get one thing straight. Mother is always going to believe that a man should provide and protect. I don't care what no one says. You are not a man to me unless you could do those things. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. And also, lead. Okay, let me restart that phrase. You're not a man to mother unless you can provide, protect, and lead. Personally, that's what I believe. Because I understand that men have grievances, or women, they want to provide and protect her, but they won't let them lead. And I think that is unfair. If you are a provider and protector, you should be having the ability to lead said woman in the relationship if you are a true man in those regards, right? And just like me, I believe that a woman is not a woman unless she can learn to submit, and unless she has a character. Actually, let me rephrase that one too. I believe a woman is not a woman unless she is able to be submissive, have virtue, and cultivate a nurturing environment, and also beauty. It is what it is. Okay. I really do believe that. I believe that women need to be nurturers in the sense of you are able to bring peace, and you're beautiful, and you know how to submit, right? Like, those are important things that I believe that a woman should have. And you're virtuous. I mean, when I think of a powerful woman, I think of a woman that has intuition, conviction, a woman that has dignity, respect for herself. She's a ruby. She's a pearl among swines. It just is what it is, giving. And so some of you ladies might be upset with me, but let me also say this. Submission is earned. It's not just given. Respect is earned. It's not just given, just like love. Love is earned. It's not just given. It shouldn't just be. I remember there's scripture in the word that said that men should love their wives as Christ loved the church, and women should submit. And then it says, submit you one to another. I believe that men need respect, and I believe women need love. It is what it is. I believe that there is a balance that comes from masculinity and femininity that was created for the sole purpose of balancing and making each other whole. I believe that no matter what job a man does, if he's a provider and protector and leader, he deserves your respect. You know, like, don't look down on him just because he works at McDonald's or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? And no matter um, the woman and, like, what you might think a woman should be or shouldn't be, right? If she has virtue, if she's a nurturer, if she's beautiful, if she's able to submit to a man, then that woman should be loved. And I want to also add that it's not to say that if someone does not find you attractive as a woman, that you don't deserve love. That's not what I'm meaning. Because, like I've always said on my channel, beauty comes in so many different shapes and forms. I'm not talking about you have to have a certain phenotype. I don't really care. This conversation is not necessarily that at all, really. Truly, it's not. It's more so the beauty that you have cultivated as a woman, your health, right? The fact that you take care of your body, you take care of your skin, you take care of your hair, you take care of your hair and nails, you take care of the things that intensify your power in society and in your life. And for us, we know that that is being beautiful as a woman. Your beauty is your currency. For men, it's them having power, it's them being a provider, being able to have income to do the things that need to be handled financially, and being able to give to that woman and to create that family and provide and protect them, right? So again, that's why I say you have to understand the roles of a man, understand the roles of a woman in regards to what type of marriage, what type of wife you will be, right? If you're someone that believes that a woman's power is also just, so forth in her leading, in her money, then that's you. I think differently, because this is what I'm gonna say. I know that I am a leader. Mother is definitely a leader. I just know I am, right? I know that I am. But I also know that my leadership doesn't trump a man's. It just doesn't. That's why I agree with Priscilla that women have a natural leadership role. We are protectors and providers in our own way. But there is, I believe, a primordial protection and provision that a man has. Right? Women, we do what we have to because it's in us to nurture. And when you're nurturing something, when you're growing something, when you're cultivating something, you go to every length, every extreme to do that thing, right? You fight tooth and nail to be able to give that thing life. And so, therefore, by default, women do become protectors. We become providers. We become all those different things because it's in us to stop at nothing to fulfill our roles as nurturers, to birth the community, to birth life. And that's why I say also that I don't believe that, every woman has to be a mother in the physical sense. I believe I'm a mother, but in other characteristics, not with childbirth, not giving birth to an actual child. You get what I'm saying? That's why I call myself mother, because I'm always mothering, I'm always nurturing, I'm always birthing life, period. So that's why I say, like, it's a very complex situation, a very complex perception you have to have when you take on the role and the ideology of what is a wife. Are you a wife? Am I a wife? Etc. What is a man? What is a husband? Am I a husband? Etc. Right? Which is why I understand that a lot of men that want a certain type of woman, that's why I say a lot of them don't qualify either, because you can't want a beautiful, virtuous, submissive, nurturing woman, right? But you're also a whoremonger. It doesn't go hand in hand. And you can't tell me it's just because you're sowing your oats. You can't tell me men will be men, because if the consensus is that the average woman is in fact average, but you want a woman that's top notch, and not just her looks, but in every facet of her life, basically pertaining to what encompasses womanhood, right? Because they say don't care about your money. So what encompasses the womanhood that a woman has, but you're also sticking it and creating broken homes, and anything that moves, that has a hole, that has the appearance of a woman, the body of a woman, but not the character of a woman that you say you want, then you can miss me with the bullshit, respectfully. Just like the other way around, how women entertain pookies, but you say you want an outstanding man. Sis, it's not giving what's supposed to give. So again, and I've also made the mistake of doing that and being that, in a sense of being a woman that's like, oh yeah, I want this type of man, but I didn't put in the work. And that's why Mother says put in the work, because I've been putting in the work and I've seen certain results that I didn't see before, in the sense of the quality of man and what I realize I'm willing to tolerate, not tolerate. I've also been the type that men wanted to take serious in certain points, but I was immature and arrogant about certain things. And so it led me to basically saying, like, just bye. Because, like I said, Mother, I'm just the type to leave. I don't have the time. I just really don't. So, and I realized my mistakes with that. as Danica Maria says, former GMO, genetically modified woman, something like that. So that's why I just say, like, look, mother is not throwing rocks and hiding her hand. Mother is not saying, oh, look at y'all, because mother's had to evolve. She's had to gain wisdom in her 26 years of living. She's made mistakes, but she's also made good decisions. And I just want to say this because it's been on my mind about, okay, well, am I a wife? What is a wife? What's a husband? Is he a husband? You know, like, what encompasses these things? And I can't help but keep going back to all the different perspectives I have acquired throughout my own journey of figuring out my womanhood, even more so than what was given to me from, my upbringing, right? And seeking the truth about the dynamics of the world and relationships and, quite frankly, the Black community. And, like, what is it? Because, like I said in my videos, like, I adore Black men. I do. I adore Black women. I do. I adore exoticals. I do. I adore all these different parts of me, all these different communities that coincide and intermingle, right? And I realize I have to find a balance. No one is completely right and no one is completely wrong with all these different perspectives. Give it red pill or the 4B movement or the child free movement or women going their own way, men going their own way. Everybody has a hand in the pot of validity and truth to their perspectives. I would be stupid, a very foolish woman, to say that red pillars don't have a point. I would also be stupid, a foolish woman, to say 4B women don't have a point either, right? I would be very ignorant to say that one side is completely right and one side's completely wrong. You have to have a balance and understand, like I've always said, what you're willing to tolerate and what you're willing to not tolerate. What type of woman, what type of life, what type of man, what type of whomever you want to bring into your life. And also, most importantly, who the fuck are you? What type of person are you? What do you want in life? Who do you need by your side? What type of vision are you trying to help a man to fulfill? What type of vision do you have if you are the man in the relationship? Right? What is your worth? Are you just here slinging it to the community? Are you just here with legs spread open for the community? Are you a baby making factory? Are you a professional sperm donor? Like, what's your purpose? What is it that you want? What is it that you need? Who do you see yourself standing beside? Who do I see myself submitting to? These are questions I'm asking myself. Who do I see myself submitting to? What man do I want to have the last name of if I choose to take his last name? Which I probably will, but would I hyphenate it? Most likely, because I work too hard for my real last name. You got me messed up. Possibly, right? So I'm thinking about all these things. Do I want to hyphenate it? Do I not? Do I want to pay for the groceries and cover the rest of the bills? Right? Do I want him to take care of all of it? What type of man do I want by my side? Do I want a teamwork situation where we do 50-50? Like, what do I want? What do I want? For those of you who are still on the fence, do you want children? Do you not? How many kids? Are you willing to put in the long hours in order to provide for said kids if you're a man, right? That you want to have with a woman one day? Are you willing to be able to provide and protect and also lead, right? You can have all the money in the world. You can have, the muscles to protect. You can have that body build. You can have the height even, right? 6 feet, six figures, etc. But do you have a vision? Are you leading her to something? Are you more than just your bank account and your body as a man? Your bravado, your ego? Are you more than that, right? As a woman, are you more than your body and your accomplishments, right? Are you more than that? Do you know what it is to submit to a man, even though you take leadership in your career, right? Do you know, or in the household in regards to your children, do you know what it is to be a nurturer? Do you know what it is to have virtue? Do you know what it is to be beautiful? Do you value your health? Do you value your vitality? Like all these different things you have to ask yourself. I believe if you're trying to pursue the word, the commitment, the vow, the sacredness called marriage. That's what I do believe. Given everything that I have learned, everything that I've seen throughout my life so far, this is where mother is standing. And it's all leads back to accountability, wisdom, intuition, education, spirituality, right? All leads down to interworkings within ourselves as men and women, right? We all need these things because what I'm realizing in today's world, we do need each other. We do. But I also realize in today's world, we can all survive by ourselves too. I know it's hypocritical to say that both can be true, but they can. I realize when the chips are down, you see who the real winners are in society, who the people are that are going to fight tooth and nail to thrive in a world that's trying to tear them down, right? You see the real champions, right? Someone had said, I think this quote, that soft times make hard men and hard times make soft men, etc. And I could say also vice versa for women, right? Which is why some might feel women are very masculine nowadays, because a lot of women are on survival mode because they gotta be, because they don't have many options, right? In regards to not like it used to be, where, by default in society, men and women were together. They would have each other's backs. Nowadays, because of so many different programming and a lot of sabotage within the communities and within the gender communities and relationship communities, is seen as like we're almost enemies. And that's the problem, right? But what is taught all of us is that we can do it on our own if we make sound decisions, if we have the right attitude and we have wisdom, whether you're a man or a woman. However, it's also shown us that we can't because of the dysfunction that we have, because we've been trying to do it alone in the wrong way and driven by the wrong things like ego. So that's why I say that I'm realizing the longer that I continue living that there is a place for a man in a woman's life. There's also a place for a woman in a man's life. And for all the bitter men and women that might see this video and be triggered, you guys can exit stage left. Okay? Okay. Because I understand there's a lot of hurt, because I used to be like that too, in the sense of, oh, these men. But really, it's not. It's that man that crossed you. Now, are there patterns in society between men and women that aren't shit? Yes, I agree. There are a lot of ain't shit people, men and women, on both sides. So I'm not disputing what you've experienced, the hurt and pain you've had to gone through by being with someone that didn't value, whether they were a man or a woman. Same with myself. I don't discredit what I've been through. But I also realized that I wasn't perfect either. And I think it's coming down to taking accountability, right? And even if you were right in that relationship completely, you also have to realize that you allowed yourself to a certain point after you knew shit was not okay to continue going on with this person. And therefore, you do have to take accountability that you hurt yourself. Because once you realize someone is there to hurt you and all they're going to do is take from you and not give back, that's when you have to leave. And you probably were dealing with self-love issues at the point and confidence issues because you didn't think that you were worthy enough or that you had the power enough to leave. So again, there are so many different things that we can always point and say, he did this, she did that. But you also have to take accountability for what you did and did not do, that you should have done and shouldn't have done. So again, I believe that bitter people keep good people single on both sides, because I've seen men in the red pill space drag specifically black women and also exoticals, right? And when I say black women, let me clarify, unambiguous black women and exoticals, ambiguous black women, which are still in the exotical space because, hello, they're brown, cis, dark skin exoticals like myself, right? And other races of women, because I see it within the white community, the Latino community, all these other different Asian communities where men are literally dragging women because they feel like they're not worth the squeeze. right? So I've seen men talk down about women in general, honey. And it left a bad taste in my mouth because it was just so disheartening. I've also seen women talk down about men, and it's left a bad taste in my mouth because it's so disheartening. Like, yeah, in the 4B movement, I've seen that too, where they accuse all men of being pedophiles or majority and things like that. And let me say this, I cannot dismiss that there is truth to both sides opinions of the majority of people that are the opposite gender, because there are patterns in society that keep happening. So I agree to a certain extent that yes, this is truth in the sense of it happens a lot to the point where it's a pattern, to the point where it can be a stereotype. I agree to that extent. However, once you start to look at people as more than just from a place of hurt and revenge and bitterness, you start to see that men are actually, they're actually beautiful. They actually have purpose. They actually do deserve respect and to be nurtured and cared for and submitted to. They can actually lead. You start to realize women are beautiful, right? Women do have value. They do have worth. They deserve us to protect and provide for them. They deserve for, from a man's perspective, looking at women, right? They're very submissive. They can submit. They do submit, right? They have virtue. They have character. They have values, right? That should be respected and protected, right? And they are someone who has intuition and wisdom, right? Like all these things can be true for a woman, just like all those things can be true about a man. And so I personally am really over this bitter mantra that men are evil and women are evil. I believe we're all flawed. I know I'm flawed. I can agree to that. But I also know that a lot of us are just trying to understand our place in relationships in the world, in our own fucking existence, if we're being honest. Like, why the fuck are we here? We're all trying to understand all those things. And we all have a natural desire to be mated, to be partnered, to be with someone that you think is just the best thing in the world, right? To share memories, to create memories with family and friends. There are more than our jobs, our careers, making money, looking like the baddest thing walking. We all have a natural desire for community and relationships to an extent, right? And so to ignore it because you're traumatized and to try to discourage others from these things, I think is unfair. Which is why I always say children are a blessing. And I don't down mothers or fathers, because I understand that, you know, it's natural to want to create children. But me, I use my common sense with it. That's me though. That's me though. But it's natural. And it's a right. It's not a privilege. It should be a right to create a bloodline if you so choose to within a marriage. I'm always gonna say marriage. I'm sorry, you got me fucked up. I'm not gonna be encouraging y'all to be pookies and ravies out here and baby mama Keishas and shit. I don't do that on my channel. You got me fucked up. Yes, within a marriage, within a union where you have, like an inheritance to pass on. Yes, we're gonna go there. Okay. Even if you were poor getting married to another poor person, y'all need to figure that shit out and have something to pass on to your kids and be able to take care of yourselves in retirement. I believe in that. Okay. Okay. And another thing though, legacy is not lineage. Y'all be mistaken having kids for legacy. That's your lineage. Those are your descendants, honey. Okay. Legacy is the impact you leave behind. Okay, so let's say you start a business and you're able to pass it on to your kids and they keep it going. That's your legacy, right? Things like that. You have inheritance you leave to your great grandkids, right? That's an inheritance. That is a legacy, right? That's a legacy, family name, a legacy. Your descendants, just because they exist and they came out of your womb and from your testicles, okay? That no, 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 that's your lineage. That's your lineage. So miss me with it, okay? Miss me with it. Miss me. Okay. So again, like these are all natural things to want, to have a family if you desire. And Paul said it. What do you say? Blessed is them that are single, something like that. It's something like that. It's something like that. Something referring to being blessed because you are a single individual, right? So singleness is not a curse either, right? So this video is not to convert anybody. If you have more of a 4B mindset, continue to have that mindset. But this is just me expressing something that's really been heavy on my heart and in my mind for the last couple of like days to weeks actually. And if you are more of a red pill person and you're like, yeah, I hear what you're saying, what do you do? Okay, continue to be that way. But understand that mother understands both your perspectives, both of you are right, and both of you are wrong about certain things too. And that is valid, right? Like, yes, I know it doesn't sound like it makes sense to some people when I say that, but no, there is truth in both perspectives. There is also a sense of delusion in both as well. Can we go there? Okay. So, again, when it comes down to relationships between men and women, I believe that you have to have a balance. You have to have understanding, like I said in the beginning. And I just, for me, if you're listening, my Rosalins and Rosikins, don't let bitter people that have made questionable decisions within who they choose to tie their lives to, their experience here on earth to, affect you to the point where you are so jaded that you believe that your experience will be the same, even though you have not experienced any of that and or have not giving yourself a chance to even be able to put yourself out there to date anybody, but yet you feel this sense of distrust and dislike for men or women, depending on what gender you are, etc., that you're attracted to. So that's what I'm just saying. Like, take that into consideration because you need to. There's just so much manipulation in this world. There's so much programming, so much subliminal messages, so much sabotaging of the natural order of things that, kept this world going. And that's why I believe this world is crashing and going to hell in a handbasket as we speak because it's off balance. Where is the balance? There is none. It's chaos. Up is down, down is up, left is right, right is left. It's just everywhere. It's complete chaos. It's a joker world. It's a clown world, right? It's an evil, vile world. There is no disputing this. It's no disputing it. And so that's why I just say, please, please, please understand what you want out of life, what you need out of life, who you can submit to if you're a woman, who you want to lead if you're a man. Understand those principles. What type of man are you? What type of woman are you? Right? What are the core foundations of womanhood? What are the core foundations of manhood? If you were to tie yourself to this person, could you stay with them no matter what they evolve to? Are you willing to sacrifice those years, resources, emotional investments that you put into said individual by making them yours and staying married and creating and honoring that vow before Yah, right? Are you willing to do all those things? To the point where this person now shares your whole entire lineage with you. Not legacy. Remember, lineage is your descendants. So this person that you're choosing today would be the great, great, great grandfather of your great, 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 great granddaughter down the line, right? If your children, decide to keep your lineage, not legacy, going. So again, mother just wanted to make this video because sometimes we laugh to keep from crying about the dysfunction within our relationships in society, whether it's family or romantic, right? However, the truth of the matter is that there is nothing wrong with wanting marriage. There is nothing wrong with being a wife, being a husband. The only thing that makes it wrong is when you have not sat down, asked yourselves these questions, been open with who you are, what you want, and what that person wants and who they are, and, thought about these things and understood that all these perspectives have validity. But the question is, what type of relationship, what type of marriage do you want? What type of person do you need beside you to conquer this life in this evil, vile world? And Mother just wants to say that because I adore you all. Thank you all for 500 plus subscribers so far. Okay, Ashira says, sprinkle, sprinkle. Let me not. Okay, whatever. The point is, though, that Mother really loves that you all relate to her content because I made this for you. It literally was called For Rosalind. Then I changed it to Rosalind the Monarch because, honey, I'm evolving. You thought. Anyway. And, you all are evolving if you know what's good for you anyway. As your mother, I would say you need to evolve, period. And I feel like not enough people speak about this because we're so jaded with all these messages, all these different content creators, all these different perspectives. But I just want to quiet your mind and say there's truth to all of them. You have to find, the underlying message and apply it to your life the best way that you can and that works for you. But it's nothing wrong with being a single woman, a single man, going your own way, etc. And there's nothing wrong with being a married man, a married woman, and there's nothing wrong with having a family within a marriage or being child free within a marriage. There's nothing wrong with all these different things, honey. And it all has validity to the reasons why people choose those lifestyles. And it also has trauma to the reasons why people choose certain lifestyles too. And mother, I talk about certain things that have led me to be a child-free woman. I talk about certain things that have led me to feel the way I feel about the Black community and unambiguous Black women. But I also understand that those come from jaded perspectives as well too. But it also can be logical perspectives too. So that's why I just said you just really have to break shit down for yourself, study to show yourself approved, understand that you don't have all the answers. You ain't got all the answers. You don't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I remember in my tarot video, someone was telling me about the Trump situation and how, oh yeah, like you should, educate yourself better before advising people. I didn't know it was a crime to tell somebody to have an emergency fund, have a rainy day fund, have pay off their debt, you know what I'm saying, have investments, and to have a fund that supports your beauty, okay, and your health. When did that go out of style? When was that ill advision? That was not me ill advising anybody. That was me telling them to have the basics, honey, for financial wealth and success. And so I don't have to watch what I say about anything because I even mentioned I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm just a person, right, that loves financial topics, and I love to talk about things like growing yourself financially, whether you're a man or a woman, period. But especially for the women because, honey, you can't be broke and pretty. I'm gonna always say this. You gotta fix it. You gotta fix it. So, like I said, Mother's channel is literally from my perspective. I don't know everything. I'm 20 fucking 6. Give me a break. But I think as a 26-year-old that I have learned quite a bit from my time here on Earth that is only a quarter in a year. And so therefore speaking, either you want to listen or you don't. But please, as you leave, if you do not resonate with anything I say on this channel, have a nice day and ta-ta. But for my Rosalinds and my Rosicans, Mother loves you. I will talk to you later. Ciao! You got this.